Hi, everyone. This is Global Podcast, your window to the world. Breaking news, big ideas, your global hangout for what's happening now, and bold conversations. Wherever you are, we're bringing it to you. Let's get started.
Okay, so you've all been sending in some really important stuff about this U.S.-China trade war thing, and it's heating up, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So we're going to take a deep dive look at what's going on. I mean, we want to get to the bottom of all this.
Absolutely.
Instead of these big escalations, what's causing them all? I mean, our sources are saying all kinds of things,
right?
And then, just the global fallout. What does it look like right now?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, your sources lay out just a crazy fast chain of events, and really, cause and effect is huge here if you want to understand the big picture.
Right. And it's tricky, too. Because it's like one thing leads to another thing, and then it's like, whoa, how we get here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's jump right into, what feels like the biggest thing right now. The U.S. just slapped this 104% tariff on all Chinese imports.
Huge. Yeah.
Wow, 104%. So our sources are indicating that, this didn't just come out of nowhere.
Right.
This was like a counter move.
Absolutely.
So what happened? What triggered this?
So yeah, this massive tariff came after China had already put their own retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods, which those initially were at 34%, and went into effect around April 10th, according to your information.
Okay, so China comes out swinging with this 34% tariff. That's a big first move.
Yeah.
But the U.S. had already actually made a move before that kind of set this whole thing in motion.
Yeah. Right.
The sources are pointing to something earlier, way back.
Yeah, going back to February, actually.
Right.
The U.S. put a 10% tariff on all Chinese goods.
Wow.
And the reasons given at the time, according to the sources, were about illegal immigration and fentanyl coming in.
Oh, wow.
So already we're seeing it's not just about trade anymore.
Right. It's broadening out.
It is.
So it's interesting, right? 10% in February.
Yeah.
Then China hits back with a 34% in April.
Right.
And then the U.S. is bam, 104%.
Yeah.
It's like a tit for tat thing.
It is a snowball effect. Yeah.
And then on top of that, the sources also mentioned that trade talks have completely stopped. What's going on there? What does that mean?
That's huge. The U.S. just suspending these trade negotiations like that, as your materials say, it's a really critical development. They're saying that the U.S. has shifted focus to strengthening economic ties with allies like Japan and South Korea.
Oh, interesting.
So that suggests a pretty significant change in strategy, right? It could mean they're moving away from direct negotiation as their main approach.
Right. And this whole thing, it's not just the U.S. and China anymore, is it? It's affecting everyone, the whole world.
Yeah.
And our sources detail some pretty big drops in the global stock markets.
Exactly. And that just shows you how interconnected the global economy really is. And we saw the FTSE 100 in London fall by over 2%, and it was even worse in Asia. Japan's Nikkei and Taiwan's TAIEX both dropped more than 4%. So these trade tensions can send shockwaves through markets incredibly fast.
Right. And, I think people see the stock market numbers and they think, oh, that's just like Wall Street, whatever.
Yeah.
But what are the economists really worried about here? Beyond the stock tickers, what are the real anxieties that our sources are talking about?
Well, I think the main worry is a global recession. These tariffs are really messing with supply chains all over the world, and that means businesses are going to have to pay more for things.
Right.
Which means higher prices for all of us, when we go to the store.
Right.
And Goldman Sachs, your sources mentioned them, they estimated that China's GDP growth could take a hit of 2.4 percentage points.
Wow.
That is that's a big impact.
So, obviously China's not happy about all this.
Yeah.
How have they officially responded to all these tariffs coming at them?
As you'd expect, they condemned the U.S. tariffs pretty strongly. Your sources, quote, their official response is calling these actions a mistake upon mistake, and they said they're absolutely determined to protect their own economic interests.
And they're not just, taking it lying down.
Right.
They're not just dealing with the tariffs. They're also, fighting back a little bit. According to our information, they're using some other tactics.
Yeah. Beyond tariffs, they've got these these non-tariff measures, they're calling them.
Right.
Like restrictions on exporting rare earth materials. These are super important for a lot of high-tech industries.
Wow.
And then they're also adding U.S. companies to this unreliable entity list, which could really mess with their operations in China.
Oh, wow. So they're really playing hardball.
They are.
Okay. So let's just take a step back and look at the big picture here based on all these sources.
Yeah.
We've seen this huge escalation in the U.S.-China trade war.
Huge.
It started with the U.S. putting on tariffs, then China retaliated with their own tariffs, And now we're at this point with really high tariffs on both sides and all these other non-tariff measures flying around.
Right.
And we're seeing the effects in global markets already. And everyone's really worried about what this means for the economy in the long term.
Exactly. It's a situation that's intensifying really fast, and it's got these far-reaching consequences. And your sources, I think they paint a really clear picture of this tit-for-tat cycle and the immediate global impact.
Yeah, so for everyone listening out there,
Yeah.
as you go about your day, think about this.
Yeah.
We're all so connected in this global economy.
We are.
What are some ways that you might be affected by these tariffs and these trade tensions that aren't as obvious, beyond just like the price of stuff you buy at the store?
Yeah,
I mean, it's something to really think about as all this keeps developing.
it is.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Of course.
We'll be back again soon with more.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. See you later.
See ya.